Good morning, it's Matt with a cup of coffee, and in today's RC chat we're going to be talking about Andrew Newton, some pre-order items and a humongous great big aircraft, and a couple of the upcoming videos. So let's have a slurp and let's do this. Right, so I don't know if you've seen this, Andrew Newton finally flew the Zeta FX61, which is the Phantom flight and wing, off the slope, and no big surprises there. She did really well. We didn't see Andrew do any rolls with it, but he did mention that he didn't have that much elevon movement. So yeah, I'd be curious to see what she rolls like off the slope and how much height she loses. So there's a link to this video in the top right hand corner now, if you'd like to go and watch that one. Also, there's a funny comment going on in the background as well by Mr. T. So sweet, I love one, but the missus would kill me. Planes are piling up in my place. Yeah, it's a problem. I agree with you, Andrew, on that one. A little tip for you, I found this one to work quite well, is that if you make a bit of a noise about one leaving you, so in other words, you sell it or pass it on to someone else, you could, of course, hide it if needed. And then, of course, during that week where you're making this noise with this airplane's leaving, you could have ordered another one in the background. So when it does turn up, you're not in a doghouse and you're already a week in front of you for the delivery time, especially if you've been and ordered it abroad. Now, Peter, this is hilarious comment in there, says, I just tell the wife I have a certain amount of disposable income and she can decide whether I spend it on hookers and cocaine or RC planes. So far, RC planes are the less of the two evils. I thought that was hilarious. So nice one, Peter. That got a little thumbs up for that one. Right, changing topic. I did notice on Banggood in their pre-order section, oh, that Parrot Disco FPV. How expensive? No surprise there aren't any orders on that one yet. Oh, these little Raystar motors seem to be going out the door pretty quickly, and I'll put a link to this page in the video description for you. And then the Horus. How much? Yeah, won't be buying one of those. And now, where's my point? Oh, yeah, the Skywalker. There's a huge one on pre-order right now, and some people have actually been buying it, even at this price. In fact, shockingly, is that 6 people have bought the plug-and-fly version, so they're relying on someone else's choice of components. Which sometimes personally, that would be questionable, especially in such a large aircraft. So let's come and take a look at this. And look, it is an absolute monster. Now, let me make the point of how big it is. Look! You can fit an iPad in it! That is just bonkers. Imagine the capacity you can carry in there. And also, this model is really getting up into professional grade aerial photography, because you can see, look, there's a hole there. Why is there a big hole in that? That's for a down pointing camera, I would assume. So you'd get a massive amount of battery power in there. And yeah, you are kind of getting into professional level, because this is where you're doing aerial photography for crops, for example. So yeah, absolutely bonkers on the size of that. I don't think I'll be buying myself one, especially at that price. But yeah, only a 40 amp ESC. Oh, 2 pieces, because you need 2 motors. And they're suggesting 2816. Oh look, 650 kV motors. So that's going to be swinging a great big prop, which they're suggesting. Oh yeah, 1060, so 10 by 6, but tri-blades on there. So yeah, pretty mad. And battery 5S, 10 to 16,000 milliamp hours. That's going to be in the air for quite a period of time. And the last topic for today's RC chat is a couple of videos which are coming up. So I still haven't published the micro quad section video, and I don't know why it's got so many views, because I haven't actually published it live on YouTube, which is a bit odd. But yeah, happy days. I think someone's gone and embedded that on someone's website. So there is a hidden message at the end of that video. So when that one comes out, look out for the not so hidden message at the end. Last night I did do the maiden flight of the DW Hobby version 1 flying wing. That went really well. And yeah, it did really, really well. And then also last night, I went out on a training session with the Hornet Flying Wing, and the reason why I'm sharing that video is that that's just me learning and getting experience time in with the Hornet Flying Wing, because it's got a very, very fast roll rate on it. And for the majority of the flight, I was only flying in medium rates. And when you see that video when it comes out live, is the roll rate on it is bonkers, and on high rates it's even crazier. Oh, one little caveat with that Hornet Flying Wing is that because the way the wings are angled is that it really doesn't like inverted. And if you do fly inverted, you've really got to push the stick right up near the top. You've got to put loads and loads of down in there. So yeah, it's a bit odd upside down, but flying in a straight line, pretty damn good. And considering the wind conditions up there at the flying site last night, it did remarkably well. And the bigger Raven, which I've got here, kind of struggled in the wind, trying to cut through it. But this little one really did cut through the wind lovely. Oh, and the last video, which is on its way out shortly, is that I'm sure you've seen it a couple of videos ago. I bought a 180 quad from Banggood. And this is the maiden flight of it, which, as you can imagine, it didn't go ready to plan. And where is it? It's on my desk here somewhere. The LED bar, which was actually a very good idea, turned out into be utter pants, because I'm here looking at the... sorry, I've dropped the screw on my desk. Like I said, these RC chats, I'll leave all the edits, leave it completely unedited. And yeah, the LED bar on the back, what a POS. As in that there was no glue holding the pins down, and of course the slightest little knock it would come loose and bent, and you'll see it in the video. Also, those stand-up legs, because they've not put any Loctite in there, 2 of them have already come loose. Now, I'm not that concerned about them snapping off. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But they have come loose. So once I finish putting the FPV equipment in here and mounting everything up properly, is that I will be putting some Loctite on all the screws, because they are already coming loose. And I will also take the screws off from underneath and check the motor screws as well, because I just can't reach them from underneath through the little holes which they've cut in there, because the hex, the Torx bit which I've got, just won't go through. But yeah, wiring was diabolical. I don't like the camera mount. LED was diabolical. Yeah, but on the bright side, when it's in the air, it actually flies really nicely. Now, the bit which I didn't show you on that video is that I took it around the front of the house and did some nice big punch outs with it. Yeah, for little 4-inch props, it did really well. And I've got some 4-inch tri-blade props here as well. And I can't wait to get them on that little quad. So I've got an FPV camera. I've got 2 FPV cameras on order. I've got 2 video transmitters on order. And I've got another 2 video transmitters on the way to me as well. Because I completely used up all my FPV kit in the latest builds. Now, I'm only going for the cheapo stuff. There's 2 CCD cameras which are on the way to me, which I've used before. And their light handling capabilities are good enough. And the other reason why I chose them is because I do have the OSD board, so I can tweak the settings on there. So they're a couple of pound more, but not really breaking the bank by, I think they were like 12 quid, something like that. So yeah, they are on the cheaper side, but they are CCD, and I do have the ability to change the settings of the camera using the on-screen display, using this little board which I got with another another camera quite a while ago. So yeah, we'll get that mounted up in here. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to get the right angle with their mounts and the layout of the 180 quad, but we'll give it a whirl. And yeah, happy days. Oh, the other thing which I do like, and there's a lot of negatives about this one, this little micro quad, but on the flip side, I do like that this will be the first quad where I can put the battery inside of the quad itself, rather than it being strapped on the top. And for me, I feel that's kind of important, because I haven't killed a battery yet on a quad, but it's only going to be a matter of time. And of course, if it's mounted up inside, then that is going to keep it a lot safer from damage from unscheduled landings. So there we go. That's today's topics. To quickly recap, if you haven't seen Andrew Newton's video with the Phantom Flying Wing sloping yet, do go and check that out. There is a monstrously great big Skywalker now available. I'll stick links to this page, the pre-order page, in the video description for you. Yeah, it is a bit of a monster. It really is. Just look at the size of that. Look, you can fit a blooming iPad in it. It's bonkers. Oh, and then we've also got a couple of videos coming out over the next couple of days too. So with that said, from myself, Matt, thank you for joining me for a cuppa this morning. I'm going to have a quick swig. And on that note, before I go, did you manage to get out flying last night? And if you did, what did you fly? And you can let me know what you've been flying in the comments section underneath this video. So with that said, from myself, Matt, thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch this episode of the RC Coffee Chat. And I shall see you soon. Cheerios!